you're having few girls to talk to, you're gaining confidence, you are having few numbers you can communicate with, you're not socially so awkward कि तुम्हारे पास कोई लड़की ही नहीं है आसपास, and you're not able to
हम्म।
talk to them. ये फेज, ये तो बचपन से आ जाना चाहिए. You should
अच्छा।
be able to communicate openly with a girl, you should be able to do that, and जितनी जल्दी आए उतना बढ़िया. When it comes to actual relationship, dating and commitment, that should happen only when you are earning your own money.
ट्रू।
तो एज अ स्टूडेंट अगर तुम रिलेशनशिप में हो एंड तुम्हारा अच्छा जा रहा है, इट इज गॉड्स ग्रेस. बट अगर तुम ऑलरेडी स्टडी पे ध्यान दे रहे हो तो पहले पढ़ लो, कोई बात नहीं, एंड एक मिनिमम बैक होनी चाहिए तुम्हारी, एंड देन यू गो टू दिस फेज. तो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, कोई मेरे पास स्टूडेंट आता है, फोकस ऑन लर्निंग.
वेलकम लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन टू दिस माइंड ब्लोइंग एपिसोड ऑफ दी अचीवर्स क्लब पॉडकास्ट शो, जहां पे हमने डेटिंग के बारे में डिस्कस किया है बिकॉज दिस इज द मोस्ट अंडररेटेड टॉपिक इन इंडिया एंड अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आल्सो कंसिडर दिस एज अ टैबू. बट आज हमने इस टॉपिक को पूरा बेसिक से लेकर एडवांस तक समझने की कोशिश करी है फ्रॉम वन ऑफ आवर अमेजिंग गेस्ट जसकरण सिंह सर, हु इज अ सीए टर्न्ड डेटिंग कोच. और आज उन्होंने अपनी पूरी जर्नी को डिस्कस किया है, सीए से लेकर डेटिंग तक एंड डेटिंग कोच तक, कैसे उन्होंने सारी चीजों को टर्न अराउंड किया एंड हाउ ही स्टार्टेड अट्रैक्टिंग द बेस्ट पॉसिबल पीपल इन हिज लाइफ एंड हाउ ही एक्चुअली मैरिड विथ हिज ड्रीम पार्टनर, his soulmate and so on. So please do make sure that you watch this podcast from the beginning till the end, because if you're someone who is looking forward to attract the best possible partner for yourself, then this particular podcast is going to help you out, because आपको समझ में आएगा कि आपको कौन सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो खुद में भी इंप्रूव करनी है, खुद में भी इन्वॉल्व करनी है, so that you can attract the best possible partner for yourself and you can be more compatible. because हमने इस एपिसोड में रिलेशनशिप के बारे में बेसिक से लेकर एडवांस तक डिस्कस किया है. So make sure you watch this podcast from the beginning till the end. Make sure you take full notes and enjoy this particular episode from the beginning till the end. Jaskaran sir, welcome to the Achievers Club podcast show. How are you, sir?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me, man.
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग ऑन आवर पॉडकास्ट शो. एंड ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग पॉडकास्ट होने वाला है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू लर्निंग एज वेल एज एक्सपीरियंसिंग, बिकॉज मुझे खुद को भी ये टॉपिक को बहुत अच्छे से जानना है. And to give you a context, currently I'm 21 and I'm also learning about dating. So for the audience as well, you're a dating coach and please introduce yourself. Like आपने क्या किया था in past and how did you become dating coach? Because right now a lot of people are hopping into this culture. पहले तो complete arranged marriage चलता था, but right now people are looking forward to date girls and boys and so on, and then go forward for love marriage. So how did all this started?
So I'm a CA turned dating coach. So professionally, I'm a chartered accountant, and then I moved to this dating field. And in simple words, multiple heartbreaks made me realize a lot of things. I think there is some gap between conversations I'm having and the type of vibe I am giving. Physical aspect and everything was kind of. I was very insecure about everything, and I was a very fearful kid growing up. So I always used to be scared of, social anxiety बहुत थी मेरे को, and many things used to happen. And from there, just little by little, I started understanding about dating, psychology, women, so much that along with my CA journey, I used to half of the time I used to spend on learning CA, half of the time I used to spend on learning women. So
Okay.
my mother used to say, stop, मतलब ये लड़की वड़की के चक्कर में मत पड़, क्योंकि आई वॉज वेरी ओपन विद देम ऑल्सो कि मैं ये सीखा हूँ, मैं वो सीखा हूँ, ये कर रहा हूँ, मैं इसको डेट कर रहा हूँ, ये कर रहा हूँ, एंड देन लाइक करियर पे ध्यान दे, लड़की वड़की के चक्कर में मत पड़. बट दे डिडंट नो दैट मैं लड़कियों को करियर बना लूंगा. सो
Fact.
small things changed, and then I fell into this thing where there were a few of my local connections who started really asking me for advice, and my girlfriend at that time advised me that why are you giving advice for free, because you don't have time, all right, and you need to also filter out people, because my social media actually went a little viral at that time, according to me. मतलब मेरे लिए तो 500 followers ही viral था, and within just 2-3 days, and I'm like, what is this? And many random people started texting me, and at that time I was very very busy into my own CA journey also, and this. So she suggested me that you should make it, you should monetize it, you should ask money for that. And once someone paid me without even asking, a girl who was going through some multiple therapy sessions, she was a doctor herself, 6 years, and I just had one session with her and she was like, "Thank you so much. It was the best session ever. Send me your Paytm number." And she
Superb.
paid me 100 rupees. I didn't ask. I was just helping for free at that time. And then I was like, okay, people will pay me money for that. And from there, the journey started where I started thinking that maybe I have learned so much that I could help others as well along with me. Pehle I was just learning for myself. And then
True.
soon I left my job. I was working in a very big multinational company in Bangalore, earning like 1 lakh rupees per month. But I left everything because I really wanted to focus on this. Wanted to do something really different because it was my passion. I understand that. And my parents were very against it. Too much of fighting happened for many months. But from the past 4 years, I am doing this full time. I'm a dating coach of India.
सुपर्ब. तो वो डिसीजन मेकिंग पे आते हैं पहले, लाइक वी विल गो फॉरवर्ड विद डेटिंग लाइफ एंड सो ऑन. बट आपका जो था, बिकॉज ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम अ सीए टू दिस, लाइक एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो लोगों को सीए बनने में ही बहुत टाइम लग जाता है एंड दे आर नॉट एबल टू डू दैट. बहुत सारे लोग बीच में ही छोड़ देते हैं. तो व्हाट मेड यू टेक दैट डिसीजन?
As you rightly said, many people take a lot of time for becoming a CA. मेरे को इतना टाइम लगा नहीं. I was a fairly intelligent person also. मैं nerd था. तो इस वजह से मैं love life and dating life, it was very difficult thing for me. But studying was not very difficult for me. So I always used to, many people used to call me, I'm like a mad scientist. So जब मैं
ओके.
किसी चीज के पीछे पड़ जाता था तो I was like मैं उसकी खाल उधेड़ दूंगा. So the same way when I was very bad at mathematics in till 8th standard, ninth,
ओके.
ninth and 10th standard, and after that I topped in every class in mathematics because
इंटरेस्टिंग.
8th May I was about to fail in it. So I hired a mentor उस time पे वो tuition vision and I really found a really amazing guy who was teaching maths in a very funny way. And then I realized the power of coaching so much that in my life, in CA field, there are 8 subjects in CA finals, and there is one subject which is the most complicated in whole world.
ओके.
Indian income tax is the most complicated in the whole world. Einstein
ट्रू.
once said that only one thing I can't understand is income tax,
ट्रू.
and I topped in it. So I
सुपर.
started researching it so much, and in that case also, it was always a teacher. So this mentorship, teaching, coaching was always ingrained in my blood that I have gained a lot of success because of this only. I can't do it alone, and that is how I became a good teacher because I had a lot of amazing teachers in my life for different subjects. And after I became a CA, the only thing which was left was cracking this code. And then I started understanding women, and I started saying 3 to 4 years ago when I started this journey full time, I cracked the code of women. I was being absurd and weird at that time, and a little funny also, but I had good knowledge, and people really appreciated that. And because of the love and appreciation they gave, I just continued.
And what was that age when you started as a dating coach?
Currently, I'm 29. So at 22 or 23, I became a CA. I worked for as a 2 years for 25 के आसपास.
Superb.
24, 25. But I was doing
Superb.
this part time
हाँ
from
हाँ
the age
हाँ.
of 21 only. But full time जब मैंने वो job वगैरह छोड़ी थी तो I was I think 24 and a half, 25.
Superb. So dating के बारे में थोड़ा सा अभी अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं. What should be an ideal age for anybody to start dating or to get into any relationship? क्या कोई
I think
आइडियल एज होता है या फिर कोई आइडियल फेज होता है लाइफ का?
ideal phase होता है because there are many people who are in my community. It's a very
हम्म.
high level community, so it is a very premium product. I see there are 19 years old people who are being able to afford it on their own money. I'm like 19-20 साल का कैसे कर, क्योंकि वो खुद से उसने 20 साल की उम्र में ही सॉर्ट कर लिया अपना करियर.
सुपर्ब.
सो
ट्रू.
वो बहुत अहेड है बाकी लोगों के हिसाब से. देयर इज नो आइडियल एज, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ फेज कि वो 19 साल के लिए वो डेटिंग बहुत प्रायोरिटी है क्योंकि उसने अपना सॉर्ट कर लिया है. बट अकॉर्डिंग टू मी फर्स्ट यू नीड टू रियली अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई एक मिनिमम सॉर्ट होना चाहिए तुम्हारा करियर. ओनली देन कम इनटू ऑल दिस. सो देयर आर टू थिंग्स इन डेटिंग. वन इज understanding the concepts, understanding how to talk to girls, gaining the confidence to talk to girls, having a few friends who are either girls or having girlfriend. All right. So being in a committed relationship and all this is a little different thing. गर्लफ्रेंड तो चलो कमिटेड ही हो गया, बट उसके पहले जो भी चीजें हैं You're having few girls to talk to, you're gaining confidence, you are having few numbers you can communicate with, you're not socially so awkward कि तुम्हारे पास कोई लड़की ही नहीं है आसपास, and you're not able to
हम्म।
talk to them. ये फेज, ये तो बचपन से आ जाना चाहिए. You should
अच्छा।
be able to communicate openly with a girl, you should be able to do that, and जितनी जल्दी आए उतना बढ़िया. When it comes to actual relationship, dating and commitment, that should happen only when you are earning your own money.
ट्रू।
तो एज अ स्टूडेंट अगर तुम रिलेशनशिप में हो एंड तुम्हारा अच्छा जा रहा है, इट इज गॉड्स ग्रेस. बट अगर तुम ऑलरेडी स्टडी पे ध्यान दे रहे हो तो पहले पढ़ पढ़ लो, कोई बात नहीं, एंड एक मिनिमम बैक होनी चाहिए तुम्हारी, एंड देन यू गो टू दिस फेज. तो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, कोई मेरे पास स्टूडेंट आता है, फोकस ऑन लर्निंग, फोकस ऑन अंडरस्टैंडिंग विमेन, फोकस ऑन द स्किल्स आई एम गिविंग यू, बाद में काम आएगा, अभी काम नहीं आएगा. एंड जितनी जल्दी सीख लोगे तो व्हेन यू आर एबल टू गेट योर फर्स्ट जॉब और फर्स्ट इनकम, you will immediately get it. For example, I was learning this from the age of 19 20, and फिर 21 पे मैं खुद ही सिखाने लग गया. 22 23 में सीए बना. विद इन 2 weeks of becoming a CA I got my first girlfriend. अब लोग बोल रहे हैं सीए डिग्री की वजह से, नहीं, सीए डिग्री तो मेरे पास आई भी नहीं थी उस टाइम पे. इट वाज जस्ट दैट आई वाज सो फ्री इन माय हेड नाउ दैट अब मेरा ये हो गया है, नाउ लेट्स मूव. नाउ आई ऑलरेडी हैव सो मच ऑफ नॉलेज टू गो अहेड विद. मेरे को पता है किस लड़की से कैसे बात करते हैं, कैसे फ्लर्ट करते हैं, क्या करते हैं, नंबर कैसे मांगते हैं, डेट पे कैसे पूछते हैं, हाउ डू इवन हैंडल ऑब्जेक्शंस. बाय द माय फर्स्ट गर्लफ्रेंड व्हेन आई आस्क्ड हर टू गो ऑन अ डेट शी रिफ्यूज्ड. बट आई
ओके।
न्यू हाउ टू हैंडल दैट, एंड देन आफ्टर 1 week शी बिकेम माय गर्लफ्रेंड. सो हाँ, फ्रेंड जोन से बाहर कैसे आते हैं. तो मैं ऑनेस्टली थोड़ा सा बेवकूफ नहीं था इस मामले में. आई वाज लर्निंग अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच केम हैंडी.
दैट्स इंटरेस्टिंग। तो आपके मैरिड लाइफ से पहले हाउ मेनी गर्लफ्रेंड्स यू ऑलरेडी हैड?
हाँ, तो ये चीज तो मैं डिस्क्लोज नहीं कर सकता, बट
ओके।
I have been into a few dates, and I have had around 2 to 3 serious relationships.
ओके, तो ये सिंगल डिजिट में था या डबल डिजिट्स में? लाइक जस्ट टू गिव अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट, नॉर्मल।
डबल में.
ओके। ओके, सो दैट्स अ डिफरेंट टॉपिक ऑल टुगेदर. तो एज यू मेंशन कि लाइक हमारी लाइफ थोड़ी सी सॉर्टेड होनी चाहिए इन टर्म्स ऑफ फाइनेंसेस, इन टर्म्स ऑफ करियर. सो लाइक नाउअडेज व्हाट आर स्टूडेंट्स डूइंग? उनको लग रहा है कि यार इन एन आइडियल रिलेशनशिप और इन एन आइडियल मैरिड लाइफ क्या होता है, लाइक we both are working together, we both are figuring out together, and that's why we are in a relationship. Like first we are in a relationship and then we will figure out everything, कैसे पैसे कमाने हैं, like what we have to do in terms of education and all of those stuff. So what's your take on that? Like पहले हमें सब कुछ figure out कर लेना चाहिए या फिर after getting into relationship वो भी चलता है, like साथ में figure out करना?
Figuring out everything before a relationship is a myth.
Is a myth. Okay.
You don't figure out everything. Honestly, you don't figure out everything even till the day you die.
Okay.
It's a myth. It's
Okay.
like हमें एक मिनिमम लेवल की सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए, दैट्स इट. क्योंकि होता क्या
True.
है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू थिंक यू हैव फिगर्ड आउट एवरीथिंग एंड यू आर वेटिंग फॉर द राइट मोमेंट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एज 28 29 30 टू सेटल डाउन, एंड व्हेन यू सेटल डाउन आफ्टर फिगरिंग आउट विच वी थिंक इज फिगरिंग आउट, एंड 30 पे हमें बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट मिलता है, हमारी शादी हो जाती है, एंड आफ्टरवर्ड्स आवर वाइफ, we are not able to handle her now, we are not able to understand. And why are divorce rates increasing so much? Because people are waiting so much, they're wasting a lot of time into figuring out stuff. Many things are figured out after the marriage, and they are supposed to be figured out after the marriage. So gain the amount of knowledge as much as you can before, चाहे वो कहीं से भी आए, किसी बुक से आए, किसी कोर्स से आए, किसी कोच से आए, चाहे खुद के एक्सपीरियंस से आए. एंड व्हेन यू एक्चुअली गेट मैरिड, you have to figure it out after marriage only, how to live with a person. Live-in
Okay.
relationship is as close we get to a actual relationship. Anything other than a live-in relationship is a very uh, it's not a clear picture of actual relationship.
Okay.
So when you don't, until unless you live with someone, you don't know how to handle the person 24/7. That is the real figuring out which happens after marriage only. So
True.
emotional figuring out plus financial problems never even arise in a dating life. The reason is because you are not living with each other. The girl can't say how much you're earning, where are you spending, because she does not have that kind of say into your financial situation. But once she start living with you, you start sharing money. Once she starts being your wife only, वो उसको भी चाहिए अपना कुछ ना कुछ मेरे को point of view देना है. That is a real figuring out happens financially also, emotionally also, relationship also, and the whole life. सो आदि कुछ चीजें तुम फिगर आउट पहले कर लेते हो विच आर सपोज टू बी डन बिफोर दैट, बट मेन गेम स्टार्ट होती है व्हेन यू गेट द गर्ल.
ट्रू, दैट्स ट्रू. एंड इसी स्टेज पे लाइक देयर आर लॉट ऑफ मेन जो एक्चुअली अपने करियर पे फोकस कर देते हैं, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ फोकसिंग टू मच ऑन देयर करियर दे आर नॉट एबल टू फोकस ऑन देयर रिलेशनशिप एंड डेटिंग एस्पेक्ट. तो क्या होना चाहिए एक्चुअल सिनेरियो?
डिपेंड करता है कि वो किस स्टेज में है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मान लो उसकी कोई कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम है और 6 महीने बाद आने वाला है, तो भूल जाओ डेटिंग वेटिंग. ठीक
ट्रू.
है, सीखते रहो चीजें. अगर तुम मतलब मेरी कम्युनिटी में आ गए हो या तुमने कोई बुक उठा ही ली है, तो आई ऑलवेज कम फ्रॉम दिस प्लेस कि यार एक ना 10% अपना बफर रखा करो टाइम पास करने के लिए, और टाइम पास की तरह
ओके.
देखा करो इन सारी चीजों को. लाइक इन माई सीए जर्नी ऑल्सो आई फेल्ड इन माई फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट
ओके.
on my CA finals. So every attempt happens every 6 months. I
करेक्ट.
failed, वो अलग स्टोरी है, वो भी लड़की की वजह से कुछ ना कुछ मेरे ड्रामा हुआ था. But after 6 months, I just gave up. I was like talking to girls left and right. I'm like, I don't want to give the attempt. I just didn't care because I cracked this code so much. I was so happy in my genuine life that from a very underconfident guy, now I'm so confident I can talk to any girl anywhere and I'm dating girls left and right. So होता क्या है कि when my जो journey थी career की, I just didn't care. Like I'm like, it is meaningless. And
ओके.
but still that girl again, when only 1.5 months were left, again broke up with me or something happened. And then I'm like, oh my god, 90 days are left. And in those 90 days only I managed how to study for 6 subjects and I cleared my CA in that. So in that time I also used to talk to few girls. It was
ओके.
not like study 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 study. I also used to, you know, read about it and understand this a little bit so that I don't get really bored and pissed off while studying only. So that is my advice for people. If you are having a competitive exam coming up, थोड़ा study करना शुरू कर दो and have few girls to talk to, but committed मत हो, date पे मत जाओ, ज्यादा emotions link मत करो अपने वहां पे. Just have that confidence thing built up, nothing else. But focus on the main thing should be focused on the career only. दूसरा करियर ये होता है कि कई लोग होते हैं करियर पे फोकस करने की आदत बना लेते हैं. दे हैव अ हैबिट टू फोकस ऑन करियर. सो इवन इफ दे क्लियर देयर एग्जाम, नाउ दे आर इन टेंशन कि मेरे को जॉब मिलेगी, नाउ देर इन टेंशन जॉब में प्रमोशन मिलेगी, नाउ देर इन टेंशन कि भाई मेरे को काम ही करना. That is a different scenario. That is a rat race they're in basically. So they are
ट्रू.
actually trying to ignore this field of love life because they don't know what to do.
ट्रू. तो ये क्या होता है, लाइक इज इट जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ पास्ट कंडीशनिंग और मे बी पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस किसी का हमने देखा हो जिसकी वजह से उनका ये बिहेवियर बन जाता है? व्हाट इज इट ऑल अबाउट?
I think it's fear. It's
फियर ऑफ
fear
व्हाट?
of rejection, nothing else.
रिजेक्शन. ओके.
So they are scared. So conditioning is one part where your father might have told you, बेटा पढ़ने पे ध्यान दे, लड़कियां से बात करोगे तो जेल हो जाएगी. You see my latest reel which went viral, and it is in that reel. It's just that I uh, it was like a show I did in airport where I helped a guy to approach a girl. ठीक है, कमेंट देखो उसके, भैया मैं जेल में बैठा हूँ, बताओ आप क्या करना है. और इतने कमेंट्स आए हैं, 500 कमेंट्स, जेल में बैठा हूँ. दिस शोज द मेंटालिटी ओवरऑल. दिस इज नॉट देयर मेंटालिटी, दिस इज देयर फादर्स मेंटालिटी,
ट्रू.
जो बचपन से उनके दिमाग में आ गई, जेल हो जाएगी तुम्हें किसी लड़की से बात करोगे तो.
ट्रू.
एंड दिस इज सो कॉमन, एंड माय फादर यूज्ड टू हैव दैट मेंटालिटी. आई वाज टॉकिंग टू वन गर्ल एंड बेटा जेल हो जाती है. मैं क्या है, क्या बोल रहे हो
ट्रू.
ये. सो दैट इज द कंडीशनिंग. बट लेटर ऑन अगर एक भी लड़की ने उनको रिजेक्ट कर दिया हो या उनका ऑलरेडी इतना फियर है, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे बिकम अ लिटिल इग्नोरेंट टुवर्ड्स दिस फील्ड, बिकॉज उनको लगता है कि हमारा तो यहाँ पे कुछ होना ही नहीं है. सो इन देयर हेड दे रिजेक्ट देमसेल्व्स ओनली. सो इट्स इजी टू वर्क ऑन योर करियर, दैट्स व्हाई दे डू इट.
ट्रू. That's true. And इस पे कैसे वर्क कर सकते हैं? How do we go about that?
First thing is that you really need to come out. First, you need to really build that mindset. So hopefully from this podcast, people really realize that am I being a little ignorant because my laptop does not talk back.
True.
So it's easy for me to fill in these reports and Excel sheet and all that. वो stress होता है, वो अलग level का होता है, but ये reject fear नहीं है कोई यहाँ पे.
True.
So first thing is realization, awareness कि यार if I am working in a corporate or I am in a college or I am in an office or I am, whatever, and I have girls around and I don't have any bad intentions towards them, but why can't I talk to them? And even if I like someone, how is it wrong? How can I communicate that further? But people immediately, when they will listen, oh, corporate, posh, prevention of sexual harassment, उनके दिमाग में क्या है ना, in a man's world, he is a creep.
Okay.
In a man's world, he's a creep. Not in reality. In his own mind, he thinks he's a creep. तो उसको लगता है पॉश एक्ट उसी के लिए बनाया गया है.
True.
एंड देन यू रियलाइज कि यार तुम्हारे बॉस या सुपर बॉस की शादी तो ऑफिस में हुई थी, तो वो कैसे पटा लिया? उस पे पॉश एक्टिंग था. बिकॉज इन योर बॉसेस केस और सुपर बॉसेस केस और समवन जिनका तुम सोचते हो कि यार ऑफिस रोमांस से ही शादी हो गई, बिकॉज दैट पर्सन वाज नॉट क्रीप. He was just genuinely finding a connection and then धीरे धीरे बात करने लग गए, आउट ऑफ ऑफिस आवर्स बात करने लग गए, धीरे धीरे दे he asked her out on a date. उसको डेट में नहीं जाना मना कर देगी तो वो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का केस क्यों डालेगी? सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का इसलिए डालेगी कि तुम सेक्सुअली हरास कर रहे हो,
True.
तुम पीछे पड़े हुए हो, तुम मैसेज कर करके उसको परेशान कर रहे हो. स्टॉप बीइंग अ क्रीप. There is no fear of
True.
approaching anybody. So this mindset has to shift a lot, that you need to be open with girls as much as open with guys. And if you don't know, then learn.
True. That's true. And what's the difference between an ideal guy, like जो mindset भी नहीं बोल सकते हैं, but how we deal with situations, how we, let's assume, talk to girls and so on. What are the ideal characteristics and what are the creepy characteristics? जैसे आपने बताया, like you're texting and calling her so much that she's just considering you as a creepy guy and so on. So what are the basic differentiations ताकि हम लोग work कर सकें towards moving for an ideal thing, ideal stage.
One of the thing is कि an ideal person has self-respect.
Okay.
A creepy person does not. So ideal person, if the girl says that I'm not interested, so he will have that self-respect. Okay, I'm not going to disturb you. Move on. A creepy guy will keep on trying.
True.
Second thing is, an ideal guy never targets a woman
Okay.
because he cares about finding a girl, not the girl. मैं उसको थोड़ा explain करता हूँ.
Yeah.
He cares about finding a girl who also likes him as much. He doesn't
Okay.
care about, oh, मेरे को ये लड़की पसंद आ गई और मैं किसी ना किसी मैनिपुलेशन टेक्निक से इसको पटाने की कोशिश करूंगा. ये क्रीपी मेंटालिटी. सो अपने दिमाग में यू माइट थिंक मेरे को प्यार हो गया, ट्रू लव हो गया, वन साइडेड लव हो गया, आई एम ऑब्सेस्ड अबाउट दिस गर्ल, शी इज सो ऑसम. बात भी नहीं की कभी, ऑसम कैसे हो गई? सो इन
True.
हिज हेड ही टारगेट्स द गर्ल एंड उसके आसपास अपनी पूरी लाइफ को रिवॉल्व करते रहते हैं. थर्ड, एन आइडियल गाय अकॉर्डिंग टू मी does not fall into this trap of friend zone.
Okay.
क्योंकि if you really like someone, you should be able to tell your intentions at least either बिल्कुल in the starting or at least once you start feeling things for her. You're not going to wait for a very long time because you're obviously, everybody knows, 99.99% case you are going to just get rejected and then feel bad about yourself and you won't be able to move on further. It will create a lot of trust issues and कभी तुम्हारी लाइफ में शादी हो भी गई तो उसको तुम इसके साथ कंपेयर करते रहोगे and you will have a messy relationship in future. So because
True.
of this small thing, you have a very big blunder coming up in future, and वो बहुत जल्दी जाएगा नहीं. So never get into this at first place. I'm not saying girls are not meant to be your friend. Make them your friends. I have a lot of friends. But once you
Same.
start liking someone, then keeping that as a secret in your heart and then not telling her and not asking her out on a date is just killing your future relationships. It's so catastrophic as a result. A creepy
True.
guy will pretend to be someone's friend, even if he thinks he's a friend, but he's still pretending. We all know that. But he will pretend to be someone's friend and not at all tell her that I like you, I want to date you, I want to do this. And same thing happened with me and my wife. And then within 4 months, we got married. In starting, she was also resisting. And I was like, I'm not interested to be a friend. I'm not interested to be your business partner. I'm not interested to share my knowledge with. I'm not interested in anything other than talking to you like a potential partner or future or whatever, and I want to date you. खत्म. और यही चलती रहती थी हमारी conversations and back and forth होता गया, but within 3-4 months we married. So that means that my intention, which I did, actually worked, and if could not work, still I was in that place of moving on. I am not attached to you without any reason. I am going to attach to you only when you attach to me, or we are attaching at the same time. So this is the ideal person's mindset as compared to the other person. Then ideal person never double texts. एक बार मैसेज
Okay.
कर दिया, सामने से रिप्लाई नहीं आया, तो मैं क्यों प्रिटेंड कर रहा हूँ? तो अ गाइस जस्टिफिकेशन इज मैंने मैसेज किया, शायद उसने देखा नहीं हो. लड़के ना लड़कियों को बेवकूफ समझते हैं.
Okay.
उनको लगता है लड़कियां मैसेज नहीं देखा होगा, कॉल नहीं देखा होगा. उनको ये नहीं पता लड़कियां भी लड़कों की तरह वेली होती हैं. क्यों नहीं देखेगी वो कॉल, क्यों नहीं देखेगी मैसेज? शी जस्ट डज नॉट वांट टू टॉक टू यू. That's why she's ignoring you. So once I text and she does not respect me as much, I will never text her again. I will never disturb her again. I will never stalk her without any reason. I will never comment, hey, nice video, nice profile, this, that, you look so beautiful. And she's not even replying to your texts. I'm not going, I will have self-respect. So this is a very big thing which many men need to think. You don't need to chase women. In ideal world, women chase masculine energy. And that is
Okay.
what I teach men, how to do that and how to make it ideal for you.
That's a great one, and that's an interesting topic altogether. So, see, stage mein, as you mentioned, couple of things. I wanted to discuss about what are the different. Let's assume आजकल तो ये concept बहुत common होने लगा है. What are the different green flags and red flags? So, in a boy and in a girl, what are the ideal green flags which we should aspire for? And अगर हमारे में कोई red flags हैं, so how we can get out of it and get into the green zone? कि ये भी myth है, like what's
Abhi,
the view, what's your view on it?
Abhi recently, 1 week ago, I actually did a meeting and it was a very funny meeting where we were talking about this only. So we help people create a vision list and what are the green flags, red flags and all that. And there was a guy who said that I want a girl who accepts me the way I am. ठीक है? एक बंदे ने लिखा.
Okay.
दूसरे बंदे ने लिखा I want a girl who grows with me. So we both grow together as a couple who pushes me through the limits. And then I showed these two people and said they are opposite statements.
True.
One is saying I want a girl who wants to accept me the way I am. Second is saying I want a girl who helps me to grow and always keeps pushing me. Every green flag has a red ending. इसका
Okay.
मतलब ये है कि देर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड अ ग्रीन फ्लैग कि भाई ये एक इंडिविजुअली अच्छी चीज है. इट हैज अ इट हैज अ डार्क साइड. इफ यू आर सेइंग दैट आई वांट माय वाइफ टू एक्सेप्ट मी द वे आई एम, तो इसका मतलब तुम अगर मोटे होना शुरू हो जाए तो वो तो एक्सेप्ट करती रहेगी बस, एंड यू विल नेवर चेंज
True.
बिकॉज शी विल एक्सेप्ट यू द वे यू आर एंड शी विल नेवर बी अ सोर्स ऑफ योर इंस्पिरेशन.
True.
तो सामने वाला कहता कि आई वांट अ गर्ल हु वांट्स टू help me to fully grow and all that, so she will never get satisfied from you because she
True.
will keep on pushing you and irritating you and एक time पे तुम irritate हो जाओगे. Here ये तो accept ही नहीं. So people have this green flags and red flags are the concept of extremists, but
Okay.
relationships don't work on this concept of extremes. Red flags are fine because it helps you to save yourself from it, and green flags are fine to go to that extreme end, but you also have to take care of it. Ki yaar, always write down any time you make a list or any time you think of a concept, always think of a concept in a moderate sense, right? For
Okay.
example, for me a red flag is that I don't want a smoker, so it works for me. It's an extreme, but What if a smoking hot lady came in front of me and she's so amazing, her body, her looks, the way she is as a person, everything ticks, but she just smokes. So dilemma आ जाएगा. So red flags हमेशा वो होते हैं जिससे तुम compromise कर ही नहीं. Smoking for me is that. मैं compromise कर ही नहीं सकता. कितनी भी hot dog को जो जाने. Drinking, I can't say the same thing. I don't drink, but if she drinks and she's amazing, otherwise it's okay. So you need to really be very deeply trying to understand ki what exactly you cannot deal with. For example, I don't get attracted to someone who does not take care of their body. Right?
Okay.
Don't go out to don't go to gym. They don't work out. They're not in shape. It's a very big red flag for me that if you're not able to take care of your own body, how will you take care of me, my children, my family? And same goes for me as well, but I do. That's why I expect the same thing. I can't expect the same thing when I don't do that. So it is an individualistic list. For example, these are few of my list. I don't want a cheater. Right? If someone, for me, someone has cheated for me once, it's done deal. There is no sorry, thank you, ye wo, khatam. In
Okay.
fact, there is no concept of breakup for me. It is
Okay.
complete breakdown. So when someone breaks up, for me, it's breakdown. Khatam. There is no break up. Many people think, oh, break ले ली, फिर ऊपर चले गए, फिर break ले ली, फिर ऊपर चले गए. This is the concept. For
True.
me, it's breakdown. Once you break it off, I will never let you in my life because you are unilaterally taking this decision to break this relationship. तुम तो future में भी करोगे. I can't trust you. Simple.
True.
So my ex is my red flag.
Okay.
But many people have a very different thought process about it. Green flags are she should respect my family. She should have that motherly nature, a caring nature. She should have a good dressing sense. I
Mm-hmm.
love a girl in a good dressing sense. She should take care of her body. She should be confident about herself. So these are the few things which you can aspire for in a girl. She should not be insecure. Many people fall for insecure girls because they are underconfident themselves. So if you aspire for a confident girl, you need to be that way. And you need to come out of your comfort zone as well. So these are things I aspire for, which actually pushes me also to be a better person.
That's true. And even एक concept आपने बताया that there are a lot of people those who consider breaking up. Like right now we are taking a pause. After certain days or weeks we'll come back together again. But as you mentioned कि like once you're in a relationship with any girl and once you've broken up, for example, once you break down, right? तो क्या उनको as a friend रखना चाहिए या फिर completely move on?
Completely move.
Okay.
Because friends is
And
a fake concept. There's
okay.
no concept of friendship. It's a fake thing. And most people don't admit that. Friendship with a girl you have been in a relationship with, or you want to be in a relationship is something you're just faking it, to my personal point of view. And according to how much I have been, experiencing these things in my students and myself. So when you're already in a relationship with someone, then you're pretending to be in a friendship. अब for example, मान लो लड़की ने ज्यादातर friendship क्यों रखना चाहता है कोई? Because I feel guilty of hurting you. That's why. So a
True.
person who actually breaks up or breaks down, जो भी बोलो, so the person who is the dumper, who dumps the other person, wants the friendship. Because I
Correct.
don't want to give you the commitment, but I still want the emotional positivity which I used to get from you, emotional bond from you. And mostly I'm actually pretending to be a friend because you don't feel bad. I immediately went away from your life.
True.
And the
That's
other person wants to be the friend because he thinks that while being the friend, I will get back into her heart some way or the other. But
true.
this few of the times happen, but 99% cases it does not happen. She's just waiting to find the right person, and this is going to hurt the guy more and more and more.
That's true. And
So
even
according to me, when a
ये
girl breaks up, गायब हो जाओ उसकी life से. This is the best chance for you to even get back if that is your option. ठीक है?
true.
गायब
That's
क्यों
true.
होना है? Because if you don't give her the space in her mind to miss you, she will never come back.
True. That's true. And उस stage में क्या करें? Like let's assume if I'm in a relationship and we broke down, let's take for example, and I have completely stopped talking to her, मैं उनको अपनी
Who
अपनी
broke
space
up?
दे रहा हूँ.
लड़की?
Yeah, let's take for example. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So if the
अगर
girl breaks up,
हम्म
then you need to do two things. One, you need to take her on call, क्योंकि ज्यादातर लड़कियां ब्रेकअप करती हैं जो थोड़ी इमेच्योर होती हैं ऑन टेक्स्ट, बिकॉज दे डोंट वांट टू फील दैट डिस्कम्फर्ट. फेस पे तो ज्यादातर करता ही नहीं कोई. So you need to take her on call and first ask her what is the problem.
हम्म
No need to convince her, we'll work on it. ये सब तो बोलने का ही नहीं. मेरे को सिर्फ अपनी क्लैरिटी के लिए जानना है कि हुआ क्या. What is the problem? बस tell me very honestly and be very blunt and honest. And she will be blunt because अगर वो breakup कर रही है तो blunt भी हो जाएगी.
true.
And then I want you to make actual notes or mental notes of क्या दिक्कतें हैं, ताकि फ्यूचर के लिए काम आ जाए. And first we start understanding and analyzing. And then after she is done, don't speak in between, don't justify anything. Is it a final decision? She says, yes, it's my final decision. Okay, all the best for your life. I love you. If you're already in a relationship, तो love you अभी तो कर ही रहे होगे तुम. I love you.
True.
And I would love to work on this. But if you're not willing to work, that's also fine. I'm not going to work it and pressurize you or chase you or be your friend or pretend to be your friend or anything like that. So you have my number. If you change your mind, you can take time and let me know. If I am single and if you contact me just within the time frame, then I would love to take you out on a date and re-kickstart this thing again. And if not, still I wish you all the best for your life. Thank you so much.
Okay, तो ये एक आइडियल फ्रेमवर्क होगा.
उसके बाद कोई मैसेज नहीं, कोई कॉल नहीं, कुछ.
True. When a girl is taking initiative to break down, and what if a boy is taking that scenario, like that charge, कि like मुझे break down चाहिए and I just want to get out of this relationship.
हाँ, तो simply you can say the same thing how girls break up with you.
Okay.
लड़कियां हमारे साथ ब्रेकअप कैसे करती हैं? It's not working, I'm sorry, this that blah blah, कोई ना कोई बहाना. Don't be too blunt because I broke up with a girl and I was very blunt on her face. I was trying to be very honest. I was trying to be a man. यार
Okay.
लड़कियां झूठ बोल के ब्रेकअप करती हैं ज्यादातर. लड़कियां ज्यादातर डिप्लोमेटिक वे में ब्रेकअप करती हैं because they don't want to hurt the guy. So when I broke up with the girl, I'm like मैं अब मैन बनूंगा. I am trying to be blunt. वो और हर्ट कर गया. तो लड़कियों का
Okay.
तरीका ठीक है, वो झूठ बोलना ठीक है, थोड़ा इधर उधर गोली दे के ब्रेकअप ही होता है हमेशा. इट इज ऑलवेज अ डिप्लोमेटिक थिंग until unless the other person really asks. But what if you're breaking up on the basis that you're not attracted to her anymore? You can't say that to her, right? It will hurt her more. So you have to, तुम्हें बहाना देना पड़ेगा. लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस हो गया, मैं बहुत करियर में फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हूँ, ये हूँ. लड़कियां भी तो ये करती हैं.
True.
So you just have to learn from girls. They are very good into all these things. So मैं तो उनसे सीखा सब कुछ जो भी सीखा.
That's true, and that's a great idea for boys and men to actually get out of any relationship if they want to. So as you mentioned कि like you were too much blunt, तो क्या आप example दे सकते हो, like what are the statements which you spoke for the sake of example कि like अगर मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ
Just
to
for
get
example,
out of it.
I ended up telling her that I was feeling the lack of attraction from a very long time. Then the girl starts thinking, oh, you were using me. I was not using. It was very difficult for me to understand what's happening at that time. It was my first relationship. मैं इतना ज्यादा मेरे को knowledge भी नहीं थी, कुछ नहीं थी, क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा. And many people think that the other person who's breaking up is using you. लड़के भी सोचते हैं लड़कियां ब्रेकअप कर रही तो यूज कर रही थी. अभी तक यूज नहीं कर रही थी. They were not even waiting for the right moment and they were not doing anything. It was just that they were having some second thoughts, but they didn't know how to take a decision about it.
True.
Because these are very complicated things. So even if I was a few months extra in this relationship just because I'm trying to understand what's happening in my mind, does not mean I'm using someone. Does not mean a girl who's breaking up with you using you from the past 6 months because उसका 6 months से डाउट्स आने शुरू हो गए थे. नहीं, डाउट्स आए इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी मैं किसी को बता दूंगा, वो तो और हर्ट करेगा. In my head only I'm thinking कि यार am I operating from love or lust? Am I just being nonsense or is it justified? Blah blah blah. But जब वो एकदम से इतना ज्यादा बड़ा हो जाता है, then you are not able to take that relationship further And honestly, I used to think about her that if I break up with her fast, she can at least get time to move on. If I keep on lingering on for years and years and years, that would be still justified from her side that, oh, she's thinking that I'm using her. Yes, I might be using her for many years. That's why I suggest guys to, if in your head you're like, if I ask you one question, do you want to marry her? And तुम्हारे दिमाग में आ जाता है, no, break up with the girl today itself.
True.
There is no point in the future you will think, oh, now I want to marry. Bakwas. You are using the girl, wasting her time and your time as well.
That's true. And एक question है, like which is coming in my mind. A lot of people do mention कि यार, like I got attracted to this girl and this is love at first sight. Like ये concept movie से भी आता है and so on, right? So is it love at first sight or is it attraction at first sight?
It's attraction at first sight. Love तो पता ही नहीं लोगों को क्या होता है.
True.
So love का definition तुम्हें अगर समझ नहीं है तुम्हें शादी करनी पड़ेगी.
Okay.
That is the
And
real thing you really need to understand. उसके पहले किसी को नहीं पता लव क्या होता है. सब इन्फैचुएशन, 6-6 साल से लोग इन्फैचुएशन में घूम रहे हैं. उनको नहीं पता प्यार क्या होता है. इन्फैचुएशन कैसे, मैं बताता हूँ. इतने साल का रिलेशनशिप चलता ही लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस है.
correct.
क्योंकि 6 साल में लोग इधर उधर मूव हो जाते हैं. बिकॉज दे मीट अ गर्ल और अ गाय हु इज इन देयर स्टडी फेज.
True.
ज्यादातर ये केस होंगे तो इधर उधर मूव हो जाते हैं. तो दे आर मोस्टली लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस. लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस इज अ फेक रिलेशनशिप. इट्स अ रिलेशनशिप ऑन हॉल्ट. आई नो आई एम बीइंग अ लिटिल हार्श एंड लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस वाले मेरे को कमेंट में गाली लिख सकते हैं, बट कोई बात. द रियलिटी इज दिस ओनली. लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस pauses the relationship. It's like a pause on your relationship. Your relationship starts whenever you meet someone physically. And अगर लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस में तुम हर 2 महीने में एक बार मिल रहे हो तो बेसिकली हर 2 महीने में तुम्हारा सिर्फ 1-2 दिन ही रिलेशनशिप है, उसके बाद पॉज है रिलेशनशिप पे. सो दैट इज द रीजन वो इतना खिंच जाता है. बट यू आर इन अ फेक रिलेशनशिप. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. सो जब रियल में यू डोंट नो व्हाट लव इज बिकॉज यू आर अगेन ऑपरेटिंग फ्रॉम इन्फैचुएशन. क्योंकि जब तुम 2 महीने बाद मिलते हो वो तैयार होके आएगी, तुम भी तैयार हो, तुम्हें पता ही नहीं है कि वो कैसी है, रोज क्या है, सुबह क्या करती है, कैसी है उसकी इरिटेशन, फ्रस्ट्रेशन. तुम्हें, यू डोंट हैव टू डील विद हर पीरियड्स. You don't have to deal
True.
with anything. So that is the problem. So you don't know what love is in reality until or unless you live with a person after marriage, or at least close to coming through that is a live-in relationship.
True. That's true. And उसी stage में like how do we grow together? Like because what I feel is relationship is a thing which is like a lot of people do mention कि यार if you are in a true love relationship and so on, so the relationship is effortless. But what I feel is everything requires some or the other effort, right? So with that effort, how do we focus on each other's growth as well?
Relationship is not effortless. I think relationship is actually the most difficult thing on this planet.
Difficult thing.
Huh? Relationship and marriage is the most difficult thing.
Okay. And why?
Relationship is never effortless. It might feel effortless in the moment. The
Mm-hmm.
reason being because it has a very big range of emotions. Relationship can be so negative and toxic you can't imagine. But your mind cannot go there. But relationship can. Matlab, it has so much of scope of emotions, negative and positive. You yourself can never feel as happy as your partner, and relationship and love can make you feel. You can do anything for love. People die for love. People take rebirth for love.
True.
But you yourself will not do that. So relationship has such big range of emotions that it has the capability to go so toxic कि तुम खत्म हो जाओगे. मतलब जीते जीते मर जाओगे, मर के भी नहीं जी पाओगे, राइट? जो तुम खुद की लाइफ में शायद ना करो. एंड मोस्टली मेनी पीपल go depressed or commit suicide and all that because of relationship problems only. Because मेरे बॉयफ्रेंड ने छोड़ दिया, लड़की ने छोड़ दिया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. ठीक है. And it has the scope to go so positive, so much of potential is there to grow together, that in any field it's not just mindset, it's finances also. When I married my wife, my income became 10x.
Okay.
10x. No, I'm not kidding. कैसे? अब मैं पिछले 3 साल से नहीं कर पाया था. I don't know, the energy, the way she pushes me, the way I push her, and we keep on growing together. Even I started, working out even more. I used to go to gym before also a little bit, but अभी मैं तो ट्रेनर हायर कर लिया है. Many people are like, तुम्हारी तो शादी हो गई है, लोग तो शादी के पहले ट्रेनर हायर करते हैं ताकि फोटोज अच्छी आए शादी की.
True.
मेरे को फेक कॉन्सेप्ट से कोई मतलब नहीं है. आई एम एक्चुअली वांटिंग टू बी अ एग्जांपल कपल फॉर द होल वर्ल्ड. व्हेनेवर दे सी मी एंड श्रुति, दे फील इंस्पायर्ड. ये
True.
होता है how people actually grow. And if you're not on the same page, you don't have any direction where you're going as a couple. That is why couples stop growing, or they don't even know this concept of growth. So people think relationships and marriages are automatic. Effortless might feel while you are being, loving or sexual or whatever. तो वो effortless होता है. But other than that, as I said, people don't know what is the meaning of love until they get married or until they are actually in a very serious relationship, right? It is effortful only for everybody. There is
True.
no one person on this planet who will say, टोनी रॉबिन्स को भी ले आओ, डाइवोर्स हो गया ना पहला.
True.
रिलेशनशिप इज ऑलवेज एफर्टफुल. एंड जितनी जल्दी लोग इस चीज को समझ जाए, उतना ज्यादा वो अपने आप को एम्ब्रेस करेंगे. पूरी दुनिया करियर बनाने पे लगी हुई है, विच इज गुड फॉर देम. बट जिसमें इक्वल या उससे भी ज्यादा एफर्ट लगेगा वो है रिलेशनशिप. उस पर कोई ध्यान ही नहीं देता.
True.
That is one of the reason from a CA, I became a dating coach, because I think this is needed more in India than income tax returns. वो तो कोई भर ही देगा.
True. That's true. And as you mentioned, like in a relationship, when we are in living relationship, yeah, फिर after marriage as well, it's like a wide range of emotions. It can go till the ends of toxicity, till the ends of positivity, and so on. So there are a lot of people, those who are considering their relationship to be toxic. तो वो toxic होता क्या है? Like what it actually is all about?
Toxic is your inability to manage your state of mind.
Your
ठीक
own
है?
state of mind. Okay.
Yourself, and the girl is not able to manage her state of mind. So your stress actually is blamed on the partner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are not doing good in your career, you blame it on the partner. Oh, तुम मनूस हो जब तुमसे शादी हुई. Maybe they don't say that, but they are thinking this way. Or they marry someone even when they had feelings for someone else. So अभी वो constant toxicity इसलिए है because I married someone just because मेरा age का pressure था, or I just wanted to get over because my parents were pressurizing me, और society की वजह से, and या फिर बस मैंने ज्यादा सोचा ही नहीं. But later on they think after few months or years and sometimes few days only, they're like, I'm not even attracted to this guy or this girl. दोनों साइड से होता है. ये टॉक्सिक हो जाएगा.
True.
So the number one thing which is very important in a relationship is constant attraction. You know, looks don't fade away. लगता है लोगों को. And at the age of 40, I'm not going to like a 15-year-old, 20-year-old girls. Obviously, I'm going to like girls who are a woman only. So
True.
ये कॉन्सेप्ट बेकार है. एट द एज ऑफ 60 मैं 50 या 60 साल की लड़कियों को ही तो लाइक कर रहा हूँ. बिकॉज आई हैव
True.
स्टार्टेड सीइंग दिस वे, एंड आई हैव स्टार्टेड सीइंग दिस. मैं जब 29 का हुआ, आई डोंट लाइक गर्ल्स और 18 19 पक्की लगती है मेरे को. क्या है? आई लाइक गर्ल्स और वुमन ओनली एंड आई लाइक माय वाइफ. तो तेरी लुक फेड अवे कैसे हो जाएगी? मेरे आईज में तो हमेशा सुंदर ही रहेगी. बट
True.
स्टार्टिंग में भी मेरे को एक हाई लेवल ऑफ बॉन्ड एंड अट्रैक्शन होनी चाहिए. एंड इफ दैट इज नॉट देयर, you should never get committed or married to that girl, and stop wasting her time only. Stop talking to her, be friends. घूमो फिरो, दोस्ती रखो, ग्रुप्स में घूमो, but never pretend to be in a relationship with someone just for the sake of having a girlfriend or a wife. So
That's true.
that
And
is
I
why
think
this is
that's a
one of
great
the
one.
reason which becomes toxic. There is no attraction. पहले से नहीं थी या बाद में फेड अवे हो गई, एंड तुमने एक दूसरे के ऊपर काम करना बंद कर दिया, जिम जाना बंद कर दिया, सब कुछ करना बंद कर दिया, तो अट्रैक्शन फेड अवे शुरू हो जाती है. इट बिकम्स टॉक्सिक. सेकंड इज, यू आर नॉट एबल टू मैनेज योर ओन स्टेट ऑफ माइंड. तुम्हारा स्ट्रेस, तुम्हारी एंजाइटी, तुम्हारा लैक ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस दूसरे के ऊपर पोर्ट्रे होता है. किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, तुम उसके ऊपर पोर्ट्रे करते हो, एंड दिस इज समथिंग. एंड थर्ड इज लैक ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. तुम एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेट ही नहीं करते कि हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम, or what am I feeling? I have certain insecurities in me. I want you to please understand and listen to me only. Don't give me suggestions. And the same you're doing for your partner. And how can we basically I was talking about grow together. So ये तीन elements नहीं होते, इस वजह से it just keeps on becoming toxic. वो जो है toxicity जहां पे the person is beating you, अब्यूसिव हो रहा है फिजिकली, मेंटली, इमोशनली, वो तो गेम ही अलग है. वो तो वो तो एक्चुअल टॉक्सिसिटी है. दैट इज द फोर पॉइंट कि जहां पे कि यू नीड टू कंप्लेन टू द पुलिस, यू नीड टू एक्चुअली कम आउट ऑफ दिस टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप. बट मैं
True.
मेंटल टॉक्सिसिटी की ज्यादा बात कर रहा हूँ, जहां पे तुम्हें पता ही नहीं चल रहा कि तुम टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप.
True. So let's take for example, as you mentioned, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा communication gap भी होता है and so on, right? So what I feel is in an ideal relationship, it's all about communication because there's a difference between inspiring the partner and criticizing the partner, right? Because अगर हम inspire कर रहे हैं, so that is in the positive manner. अगर हम criticize कर रहे हैं, तो वही same चीज. Let's take for example, if I'm not gymming and if my girlfriend, for sake of example, if she wants me to inspire, she will tell me ki like you can work out with me, या फिर you can make this even more better and so on. So this is in the form of inspiration. And then comes criticism ki yaar, you don't look like him, you don't look like him, and XYZ, right?
एक
So how do we go
कंपैरिजन.
about, like how do we go about that, like the inspiration zone and the criticism zone?
हाँ. So you want to know how do I do it if I want my girl
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do something?
yeah.
For example, if I am gymming or working out, if I want my girl to do that, so it's very easy. I teach that in my workshop also. So it's something like I can say, "Yaar, you look so hot while doing this particular squat or something." मतलब when a girl is doing squat, it looks so hot. एक बार करके दिखाना. And just थोड़ी सी over acting करनी पड़ेगी तुम्हें. And she's
Okay.
doing that 2-3 squats in front of you. कितनी hot लग रही है यार. And then leave it. Basically, it's called seeding. In her mind, you need to seed that you look good while gymming. You look good while exercising. Whenever you exercise, all the sweat, I just want to peel your pants off and eat you. मतलब कुछ ना कुछ तुम्हें इतना sexual create कर देना उसके mind में, because
Mm-hmm.
girls are very feelings oriented. So
True.
when you're using this technique बोलो, strategy बोलो, and this is something which can inspire her. And then बीच बीच में एक डोजेज भी देना जरूरी होता है. ठीक है. इट्स नॉट
Okay.
जस्ट पॉजिटिव इंस्पिरेशन ओनली. एक डोजेज भी देना जरूरी होता है कि लेट्स गो टू जिम. ठीक है. अगर पॉजिटिव पॉजिटिव ज्यादा काम नहीं हो रहा तो एक नेगेटिव डोजेज भी दे दिया. यार तुम तो वर्कआउट ही नहीं करती यार, फिर तुम बोलती हो कि यार हम दोनों को अच्छा कपल बनना पड़ेगा.
True.
एंड वहां पे चुभे भी थोड़ा वो. सो बोथ द थिंग्स. एंड इफ शी वांट्स टू डू, शी विल डू दैट. But there was a guy who was my student and he was in a relationship with a girl, and many years ago, he got into a relationship with her, and she was quite bulky. And he was always into gym and fit, and he actually used to date few girls who were even models. मतलब उसने comparison ही बहुत different है. But this girl
True.
was really good as a person, and there was a genuine connection, and they got into a relationship with her in expectation that if she works on her body one day, she will become his perfect match. 5 साल हो गए, कुछ नहीं हुआ. And 2 weeks ago, he broke up.
Okay. Just because of those
Such a big
expectations.
time waste. He
True.
wasted her time and she wasted his time as well. And he just couldn't inspire her. And even if she used to go to gym, बीच में शुरू कर भी दिया था, but it didn't work because it was too much
True.
accumulation. Because weight of a person is not just reduced through gym, it reduces through good eating habits also, and emotions also. Because
True.
your negative emotions keep your weight high, because negative emotions create actual acidity in your body.
True.
Acidity से बचने के लिए body retains more water. This is a real fact. And
True.
because of that, you are fat. तो तुम्हारे अगर इमोशंस नेगेटिव है और तुम जिम जा रहे हो, तुम और नेगेटिविटी क्रिएट कर रहे हो, बिकॉज नाउ कोर्टिसोल के साथ साथ लैक्टिक एसिड भी क्रिएट होना शुरू हो गया है. इतनी एसिडिक है तुम्हारी बॉडी कि इट इज नॉट लेटिंग गो ऑफ द वेट, बिकॉज इट वांट्स टू कीप टू मेक यू सर्वाइव, अदरवाइज तुम मर जाओगे. So there are
True.
so many things which are coming into this play of working out or exercising and working on your body. Many things, if you become a little positive and you sort out your mind, you will automatically start losing a lot of weight, or you become ready for losing weight. सो डिपेंड करता है वो उसकी कितनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है उसको साइकोलॉजी के बारे में, बॉडी के बारे में, लाइफ के बारे में. दैट्स व्हाई आई ऑलवेज बिलीव इन होलिस्टिक journey. My
True.
the community I was talking about, it's named ULM, Ultimate Life Mastery. So it's not just the dating thing. 80%, 90% it's all about dating and love life only. But 10% all the other areas also I focus on because that is also very important in a relationship.
That's true. And यहाँ पे एक सिनेरियो लेते हैं, because in fact it's been couple of months, मैंने एक पॉडकास्ट में सुना था that nowadays in a men and even in a women, जो हमारे सेक्स हॉर्मोन्स होते हैं, like they get activated way more earlier as compared to our parents and grandparents, right? So because of that, and because of too much of access today, because of social media and dating apps and so on, a lot of
Too much
people
of
get
what? Stress?
access towards social
Access.
media and dating apps. A lot of guys and girls get into relationship just for like their sexual requirements and so on. So is it okay, or is it just like they're having fun and they're just like that, like their main intention for both of them is to just have sex and just spend time with each other and so on, not to get married or not to be serious about their life? So is that okay, or is it just like they're just wasting their time? What is it all about?
I think मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है कि इन टुडेज एज दे आर एक्चुअली गेटिंग मोर एंड मोर फार्दर अवे फ्रॉम ईच अदर. Because
They're
even if
getting
they
more.
have access, but still nobody is meeting each other, right? They have
True.
access, that's why they are just chit chatting and wasting time.
True.
Because they are not actually meeting each other. So in previous age, what used to happen is if I want to, have sex with someone, I just used to approach her from that angle.
True.
अगर तुम देखोगे कि अगर हंटर गैदरर्स के टाइम पे, और वॉट एवर, कुछ सालों पहले ही, 50 साल पहले, सो पीपल यूज टू डायरेक्टली गो फॉर दैट ओनली. ठीक है.
True.
दे यूज टू गेट मैरिड फास्ट, सो दे यूज टू गेट सेक्स फास्ट.
True.
राइट. अभी क्या है कि इट इज स्ट्रेचिंग आउट. अभी नॉर्मल एज ऑफ मैरिज ही 30, 32, नॉर्मल 35 के भी. मेरी कम्युनिटी में तो लोग 48 के भी सिंगल बैठे.
बाप रे.
ठीक है. एंड few people have got divorced, but there are few people who never got married only. Right. So इसी वजह से, because of our sexual needs, we are doing all these things. But still, according to me, people not see in India, many people think that dating app work ही नहीं करती, तो मिल कहाँ रहे हैं सेक्स में. तो उनको लगता है they are actually having mental sex.
Okay.
Porn consumption increase हो गया है, and chit chatting बहुत increase हो गई है because of this technology. They are not actually having more and more physical contact with these girls because they are falling into cyber scams. A guy who was talking to a girl from 2 weeks, and afterwards they had some video sex or something, and afterwards the girl says, "Give me 6,000 rupees if you don't want to, me to share that video."
True.
It's a scam. It's a racket going on. So physically, I think people are coming close from technology point of view, but people are getting more and more farther away physically because they are stuck in their comfort zone on chit chatting, and they don't even want to face that rejection of asking her out in reality because they think that even she's talking to me, at least there is a scope. Why do I want to put myself online and face a rejection for date? She'll stop even talking to me. So उनको वो short term validation में मजे आने शुरू हो जाते हैं और कुछ नहीं. And second, your
True.
question is that hookup culture is increasing and all that. See, I personally don't teach or believe in hookup culture or casual sex or whatever. The reason is because it has a lot of energy stored. When you are being intimate with someone, you exchange energies.
True.
Mostly people who are in this hookup culture are mostly fucked up.
Okay.
They are mostly either depressed or they're having some anxiety issues, they are having some trauma. That is the reason a girl is hooking up randomly with guys. Why is she doing that? Because she's fucked up in some way. Now, the problem is if a guy or a girl are having random sex with random people, it's not just, oh, sex करके आ गए. No. Energies exchange होती है भाई. So you
True.
exchange energies with them. कभी कभी तुम्हें लगता है कि यार किसी डिप्रेस्ड लड़के से बात करके वो लड़के ने इतने सारे इमोशंस लड़की के अंदर डाल दिए, लड़की ने अपने इमोशंस लड़के के अंदर डाल दिए. बिकॉज वंस आई एम टॉकिंग टू समवन विद अ लॉट ऑफ इश्यूज, the person needs to actually hire a therapist, go to a psychologist or a coach, and come out of it. But when you're randomly talking to people, every person is listening to your story and every person in their own head is becoming very negative about it, right?
True.
So ये तो सिर्फ कॉन्वर्सेशन है, अब सोचो सेक्स, you're actually exchanging fluid, you're actually exchanging those energies. So I am always against this random hookup culture, random all that. Always go for the girl you're really wanting to know, and there is a possibility of getting into a relationship. I'm not saying that you try on a girl and it's sure that after a few weeks you really want to make her your girlfriend, but you should have that intention. Your intention should never be of वन नाइट स्टैंड और फ्रेंड्स विद बेनिफिट इज अ होक्स. कुछ नहीं होता, सब बकवास है. फ्रेंड विद
True.
बेनिफिट इज जस्ट अ होक्स थिंग. इट्स नॉट रियलिटी. द रीजन बीइंग बिकॉज वो मूवी आ गई थी फ्रेंड्स विद बेनिफिट, तो लोगों को लगता है हाँ बहुत अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट है. देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड फ्रेंड्स विद बेनिफिट. इट इज ऑलवेज बेनिफिट्स विद हर्टिंग समवन्स इमोशंस, बिकॉज उन
True.
दोनों में से किसी ना किसी के इमोशंस तो जुड़ ही जाएंगे एंड बाद में एंड अप हर्टिंग. सो कुछ होता नहीं है ये सारी चीजें. तो
True.
मैं हमेशा क्लियर कर देता हूँ कि यार ये जो तुम वेस्टर्न कल्चर से ले रहे हो थोड़ा बहुत ठीक है, बट ये सब बिल्कुल ही वाहियात है.
True. That's true. And in fact, there are a lot of people, those who are getting open up right now, और उनको लगता है कि यार, even if let's assume if I'm in a relationship with any girl, तो उस phase में भी I should have some personal space, like independence, and I should have that relationships, you can consider that phase as well at the same time. So is this good, या फिर like what is it all
I
about?
believe in 50-50. I
Okay.
believe that you need to focus on a relationship 50%, and that you need to focus on your career or whatever, your personal life 50%. But the problem is that, what happens is that many guys, when they meet the girl for the first time, they give 100% to her and then they start taking away.
True.
That is the reason which creates issues in a girl's mind, that you just wanted me and now you are taking it away. But a guy says that I need to focus on myself also. So you need to maintain that balance from the starting itself.
That's true. So it's like 50-50 thing. And that's why I feel that's a great one, because even let's take for example, यहाँ पे काफी सारे लोग होते हैं कि यार, even if I'm taking 50-50, like I'm in a relationship and I'm working on my own. So what a lot of people do is कि यार, अगर मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड या फिर मेरे बॉयफ्रेंड ने मुझे बोला है कि यार ये चीज कर ले, वो चीज कर ले, so in that 50% time of independence, I am doing the 50% from that relationship. So is this good, या फिर is this going to hamper in future?
The thing is कि वही 50-50 रेशियो में होता क्या है कि इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू मीट 100% ऑफ देयर रिक्वायरमेंट्स एंड नीड्स, दैट हैम्पर्स द रिलेशनशिप. फॉर
Okay.
एग्जांपल, आई हैव सीन सो मेनी पीपल हु आर सेइंग कि मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड मेरे को बोलती है कि रोज मेरे से बात किया कर. तो वो क्या करता है कि पूरे दिन अपने ऊपर काम करता है और 1 घंटा 2 घंटा उससे बात. पर प्रॉब्लम है कि 2 हफ्ते बाद वो खुद ही बोर हो जाती है. 2 हफ्ते
True.
बाद वो लड़ाइयां करने लग जाती है. मैं वो कहता है यार ये मेरे से जो चाहती थी मैं तो करता रहा. आई एम डूइंग एवरीथिंग शी वांट्स, व्हाट्स हैपेंड? बिकॉज वो 50-50 के अंदर यहाँ भी ये भी पॉइंट है कि यू नीड टू एक्चुअली टेक अ स्टेप बैक. You just don't have to do blindly everything she wants you to do or he wants you to do. Sometimes you are not even talking for whole day. It's okay. In fact, you need to have the habit of not talking for whole day,
True.
right? So sometimes, even in a marriage, sometimes I'm talking to Shruti and I'm like, my wife, I'm like full day with her. And sometimes I tell her in starting, easy today, I don't have time. And then she understands. This is how your partner starts understanding you. But if you have developed a habit of a normal relationship, yeah, long distance relationship of talking every day, and then after listening to this podcast, you immediately try, oh, let me stop talking. This will create a lot of blast because तुमने habit क्यों बनाई फिर? That's why
True.
whenever I ask a single person who never been into a relationship or did not, arrive into a relationship, you're just in a dating phase, habit ही मत बनाओ starting से. Starting say, me and Shruti never had a habit of talking every day. I will reply immediately. I don't have time. And then the understanding that he's busy also. So appreciating you more because you take time to talk to them. But if you are like, मैं हर चीज उसकी पूरी कर दूंगा, फालतू के आशिक मत बनो. नॉर्मल रहा करो. एंड नॉर्मल लोगों के रिलेशनशिप सबसे ज्यादा चलते हैं.
True.
जितनी हम ज्यादा चीजें करने की कोशिश करते हैं, वी आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू ओवर कॉम्पनसेट फॉर द लैक ऑफ कनेक्शन, अट्रैक्शन एंड पर्सनैलिटी.
That's true. And that's a really hard hitting statement for a lot of people, those who are in a relationship, कि यार habit मत लगाओ. And that's what I feel. Because honestly, sometimes it will be like कि यार आप पूरा दिन travel कर रहे हो, आप पूरा दिन कुछ events attend कर रहे हो, कुछ काम में busy हो, and in the back end your girlfriend or your boyfriend is waiting कि यार ये मुझे text करेगा, मेरी बात होगी, I'll share my
टेल देम,
emotions with him or her,
टेल देम,
and so
शेयर
on.
देम कि मैं पूरे दिन बिजी हूँ, खत्म.
True. That's true. And I feel like एक बार
कई लोग
habit
होते हैं
नहीं
कोल्ड
बैठी.
टर्की हो जाते हैं, कई लोग होते हैं कि एक दिन हवा आई और उसके बाद गायब हो गए.
हाँ
ये
हाँ.
नहीं कर, बता दो आज या
True.
मैं अगले 2 दिन बहुत बिजी होऊंगा, सो आई गेट टाइम, आई टॉक टू यू, बट पूरे दिन बहुत बिजी हूँ. मैसेज
True.
कर दो उनको, आई एम बिजी. कोल्ड टर्की मत हो जो 2 दिन तुम्हारा मैसेज कॉल नहीं आया भाई, इतना तो कोई बिजी नहीं होता कि तुम्हारा कोई
True.
मैसेज कॉल आया ही नहीं कभी. बट
True. True.
बता दो. तो डोंट प्ले
True.
गेम्स रैंडमली. मोस्ट पीपल हु ट्राई टू प्ले गेम्स इन अ रिलेशनशिप, कमिटेड रिलेशनशिप, यही लोग फंसते हैं. एंड यही फॉरेन के डेटिंग कोच एंड पिकअप आर्टिस्ट तुम्हें सिखाते आ रहे हैं. तो बेसिकली अ डेटिंग कोच is what he needs to teach you what works in reality. Why are most dating coaches in the whole world are themselves single or divorced?
True.
Isn't it a paradox?
That's true.
ये तो कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी हो गया ना कि मैं डेटिंग कोच हूँ. ये तो वही बात होगी, मैं तुम्हें सिखा रहा हूँ हाउ टू मेक 10 फिगर्स और मैं खुद
मैं
जेब
ही
में
नहीं कर
चवन्नी
पाया. True.
करूँ. राइट. सो अल्टीमेटली I teach relationship positivity, how to make a relationship work, not play games with girls. हाँ, स्टार्टिंग में एक फन गेम्स खेलनी ठीक है, उनको उसको ही मजे आते हैं, पर वही थोड़ी खेलते रहोगे. देयर आर मेनी पीपल, उनको फन गेम में इतने मजे आ जाते हैं, पूरी जिंदगी यही करते रहते हैं. एंड दे आर ऑलवेज स्ट्रेस्ड बिकॉज दे आर ऑलवेज ऑन देयर टोज. व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट मूव? उनकी लाइफ में कुछ और होता है.
True. That's true. And before moving forward to the last couple of questions, how's your experience in the podcast?
मजा आ रहा है मेरे को.
Anything which I missed?
Not really. I'm just enjoying your questions and कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस हैं जो कि आई वाज आस्क्ड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, सो
Yeah.
मजा आया.
So, as you mentioned कि like बहुत सारे international dating coaches हैं जिनका actually में divorce हो रखा है या फिर they are still single. So what I feel is like जिस भी country में आप रह रहे हो, because ultimately we are Indians right now, right? So हमारा culture अलग है, हमारे value system अलग है, हमारे beliefs अलग हैं, वहाँ का system अलग है. Even in fact in a report it was mentioned कि like in US or Europe or wherever, I'm not sure about the country, कि वहां के जो मैरिजेस हैं इवन दे डोंट लास्ट मोर देन 5 years, एवरेज मैरिजेस, right?
भाई
So why do
हाँ,
we learn to
सुना हुआ है मैंने.
why do we learn from those people? Because in India it's like एक बार we are getting married so it's forever. Very few people get divorced from first marriage and then they get into second one, but not beyond second, right? So I feel we should listen from the people those who are from our locality or from our country so that we can
अवेलेबल नहीं
get
है.
in unison. True.
दैट्स व्हाई दे
That's
वर
true.
लिसनिंग आउटसाइड, बिकॉज देयर वाज
True.
नोबडी हु वाज एक्चुअली टीचिंग दिस. अब
That's
मैं
true.
आ गया, कुछ और है, कुछ ना कुछ स्पेसिफिक नीश में सिखा रहे हैं, कोई सेक्स के बारे में सिखा रहा है, कुछ है. सो मेरे जैसे अभी लोग बहुत कम हैं, राइट. अवेलेबल
True.
नहीं है ना कोई, बिकॉज किसी को पता ही नहीं है क्या है.
True.
It's a very taboo topic now also. Dating is a very taboo किसी, मतलब
True.
there are
That's
many
true.
people in L1 sorry लेवल 1 cities also है, बहुत सारे ऐसे जो प्रॉपर अच्छे कॉन्वेंट स्कूल से पढ़े हुए हैं. भैया डेटिंग क्या होता है? दे डोंट नो कि इट्स अ फॉरेन टॉपिक एंड इट्स नथिंग रॉन्ग दे आर सेइंग. नहीं सिखाया भाई डेटिंग वर्ड. मेरे को डेटिंग वर्ड के बारे में पता चला था 12th स्टैंडर्ड के बाद. आजकल तो
Okay.
दुनिया चेंज हो गई है, बट मैं बहुत साल पुराने, मेरे को डेटिंग ही नहीं पता क्या होता है. अच्छा,
True.
डेट पे बोलते हैं इसको, मतलब ऐसी दूर पहले कहीं किसी मूवी में सुन लिया होगा. मेरे को लगा डेटिंग का मतलब हुकअप होता है. मेरे को
True.
लगा डेटिंग का मतलब होता है आई नीड टू स्लीप. कुछ ना कुछ रैंडम थॉट्स मेरे दिमाग में. एंड देन पीपल आर नॉट रियली अवेयर. अवेयरनेस तो दूर की बात, मतलब अवेयरनेस ही नहीं है, ये तो दूर की बात है कि कोई कोच आ जाए वो भी अपने
True.
अपना पूरी लाइफ सेक्रीफाइस करके वो इन सब कामों में लग जाए. दैट्स व्हाई इट वाज अवेलेबल. आउटसाइड इंडिया से वो टाइम पास कर रहे थे, बट अभी तो इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो गए हैं भाई हमारे जैसे लोग. कुछ सीख लो थोड़े हमसे भी, बिकॉज
That's true.
आई अग्री विद वॉट एवर यू आर सेइंग. फॉरेन का जब कॉन्सेप्ट ही डेटिंग का बिगड़ा हुआ है, तो उनसे सीख कर तुम अपने इंडिया में बिगाड़ रहे हो ना सारी चीजें, बिकॉज
True.
उनका तो डाइवोर्स रेट सबसे ज्यादा हाई है. इंडिया में
True.
तो फिर भी कम है उनके कंपैरिजन में.
True.
तो इंडिया में इंक्रीज क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि तुम उन फालतू लोगों से सीख रहे हो.
Correct. That's what I feel. And even यहाँ पे ना like right now, like मैंने एक और चीज सुनी है that a lot of people in our country depend on any Bollywood movies, any web series, वहां से वो लोग बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं, right? And as per my observation, मैंने भी कुछ कुछ series in past देख रखे हैं. So when it comes to like romance and in a relationship and so on, जब भी कोई लड़का होता है उसका कोई ना कोई बड़ा भाई होता है जो उसको एडवाइस देता है कि भाई तू ये कर, आज उसको वहां ले जा, डू दिस, डोंट डू दिस एंड सो ऑन. जबकि वो जो बड़ा भाई होता है, ही स्टिल सिंगल, राइट? सो लाइक वहां से इंस्पिरेशन लेके बहुत सारे लोग अपने बड़े भाइयों से पूछते हैं एंड देन अगेन दे मेस दैट अप. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, लाइक रिलेशनशिप में इट्स ओनली अबाउट टू पीपल या फिर कोई थर्ड इंडिविजुअल आने की वजह से वो बिगड़ जाता है?
थर्ड इंडिविजुअल डिपेंड करता है कौन है. अब यू
हम्म.
ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड दैट हु इज एडवाइसिंग यू. अब कोई कोच
ट्रू.
एडवाइस कर रहा है, उसका एक्सपीरियंस अलग है.
ट्रू.
अब कोई
ट्रू.
बड़ा भाई एडवाइस कर रहा है, उसका एक्सपीरियंस अलग है.
ट्रू.
राइट. अब तुम्हारे फादर एडवाइस कर रहे हैं, उनको उनको क्या पता डेटिंग के बारे में? उनको क्या पता
ट्रू.
आजकल लड़कियां कैसी होती हैं, लड़कियों की साइकोलॉजी? वो तो सीधा आके बोल देंगे, बेटा मैं तो अपनी मम्मी को समझ नहीं पाया, तुम क्या वैसे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे
ट्रू.
हो? तो अल्टीमेटली बड़ा भाई, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट. बड़े भाई की खुद कौन सी गर्लफ्रेंड है?
ट्रू.
सो
एग्जैक्टली,
किस
मोस्ट ऑफ द
एग्जाम्पल
सीरीज में वही
एडवाइस?
बताया जाता है.
करेक्ट. सो इसी वजह से डिपेंड्स ऑन वो एडवाइस कहाँ से आ रही है. ज्यादातर वो एडवाइस आएगी फ्रॉम नॉन क्रेडिबल सोर्स, कहीं
ट्रू.
से भी, रैंडम दोस्त वोस्त इधर उधर. And if the advice is coming from someone who has a track record, who has someone who actually knows what that person is talking about, then that advice actually helps, because I have 2000 people in my community and
वाओ.
15 से 16 शादियां करवा चुका.
सुपर्ब.
So बहुत सारे लोग जो बहुत अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट थे, बहुत सारी चीजों की वजह से, आई एम बॉल्ड,
हम्म.
ठीक है, आई एम बॉल्ड, नोबडी विल टॉक टू मी, शादी करवा दी मैंने उसकी.
सुपर्ब.
दूसरा, देयर वाज अ गाय हु वाज 5'6", हाइट बहुत कम थी. आई नेवर डेटेड एनीबॉडी. दो उससे भी बड़ी हाइट वाली मॉडल, एक उसमें से एक एक्चुअल मॉडल थी, और एक लड़की थी, ही मेट आई थिंक इन ऑफिस और पता नहीं क्या, बट शी वाज वेरी गुड लुकिंग. कॉन्फिडेंस ही चेंज हो गया ना. मतलब तुम्हारी लाइफ में अभी तक कुछ हुआ ही नहीं अभी तक, and then because of some advice I teach you something and then you just apply it and then you get the result. But problem है कि भाई वो result थोड़े टाइम से आएगा. कईयों को 2 महीने में आएगा, कईयों को 6 महीने में आएगा, as much as you are applying. But once it comes, your life changes. Dating is not home dating. भाई कोई लड़की, depending on the type of girl you are marrying or dating, changes your confidence in every area of life completely.
दैट्स
You're
ट्रू.
just not able to imagine that, क्योंकि हमारे दिमाग में हमने एक इमेजिन कर रखा है, दिस इज द लेवल ऑफ गर्ल आई कैन डेट. इफ आई मेक यू डेट दिस टाइप ऑफ गर्ल, तुम्हारा हिल जाओगे तुम अंदर से कि भाई मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ, तो मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ, फिर मैं जॉब क्यों कर रहा हूँ, मैं एंटरप्रेन्योर बन जाता हूँ. उसकी रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है. एंड आई डोंट नो इसके ऊपर किसी ने कभी रिसर्च की हो, बट मैं गारंटी दे सकता हूँ कि अगर एक्चुअल साइंटिफिक रिसर्च हो ना इस चीज के ऊपर, the higher the quality of the girl you're dating or being in a relationship with, higher your confidence in reality, your emotions will increase and your risk taking capability will increase, your testosterone will increase. इसके ऊपर
दैट्स
एक
ट्रू.
रिसर्च हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी ने की थी ऑन पावर पोस्चर्स. सिर्फ 2 मिनट तुम ऐसे सुपरमैन की तरह खड़े रहो एंड योर रिस्क टेकिंग इंक्रीजेस बाय 33%, योर स्ट्रेस लेवल डिक्रीजेस बाय 25% एंड एवरीथिंग. तो
हाँ
आई
हाँ.
थिंक इसके ऊपर अगर एक रिसर्च हो जाए, मजा ही आ जाएगा, बिकॉज यू विल स्टार्ट सीइंग एन एक्चुअल रिजल्ट. And people will stop wasting time with girls they don't like or guys they don't like. My wife
ट्रू.
is a kind of a self-love and relationship coach for women.
ट्रू.
So we see this whole game in girls also, that they're also not, matching up with guys. They are also not able to understand कि यार मैं relationship में कैसे आऊँ, trust कैसे करूँ and all that. So this is not a guy's problem. This is everybody's problem. And that's why we are doing this.
दैट्स ट्रू. एंड बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. इनफैक्ट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आर रनिंग इन माय माइंड, बट what I feel is let's have a quick myth and fact round. And मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि like if it's a myth, तो उसके बदले में फैक्ट क्या है, यू कैन स्पीक सम सेंटेंसेस ऑन दैट. एंड अगर वो फैक्ट है और अगर उस पे भी आपका कोई टेक है, यू कैन जस्ट मेंशन दैट. सो इज दैट ओके
अच्छा,
इफ वी बिगिन
I'll
विद?
give you a one-liner thing.
Yeah. So let's begin with myth and fact round. So the first myth which I got is that opposites attract. Like a lot of people consider कि यार मेरे को like I'm a night owl, the girl considers I'm like early riser and so on. या फिर let's assume मुझे ये पसंद है, मुझे ये पसंद है. Like both of them have opposite this one. They like the things which are completely opposite to each other. तो क्या वो myth है, like will they sustain their relationship या फिर कुछ problems होते हैं?
Actually, opposite attract actually came from a concept of polarity.
Yes,
पोलैरिटी
true.
एक
Okay,
कॉन्सेप्ट है जिसको बोलते हैं ऑपोजिट एनर्जीज.
true,
फीमेल मेल, फेमिनिन मैस्कुलिन, यिन yang.
true.
Opposite energies attract, opposite people don't.
Okay.
So for example, if I am a person who is a decision maker and I'm a masculine trait है वो मेरी, and
Mm-hmm.
a girl who is a little, feminine, she loves, to take part in a man's decision, respects him. तो basically हमारी energies matching है, ठीक है,
True,
but it is still opposite. If I am a decision maker and she has equal ego and equal decision making, तो इस चीज में हम अट्रैक्ट नहीं होंगे, हम लड़ाइयां करेंगे. सो
true,
ये हम वैल्यू सिस्टम्स हमारे जो ऑपोजिट होते हैं, दे डोंट अट्रैक्ट टू ईच अदर. ठीक है, ऑपोजिट एनर्जीज टू. आई एम अ मैस्कुलिन पर्सन, माय वाइफ इज अ फेमिनिन गर्ल.
true.
So that's why we are attracted to each other. If I am a feminine person, because
Mm-hmm.
every guy and girl has feminine and masculine both,
True,
then she is a little masculine girl. We will still attract to each other. And there are so many girls you will see whose boyfriends are actually kind of home daddies,
true,
or they're a little feminine, they are very feelings oriented, they have that motherly nature. इसी वजह से attracted हम.
true. That's true. The second statement with respect to this is that a lot of people consider right now कि यार this is like a relationship era and so on. So being single, like which means like if you are single right now, which means there's something wrong with you. Is this a myth or a fact?
Obviously, it's a myth.
And why
So
do
you
you
are
think that it's
single.
not a fact?
Correct. So the thing is that being single is not wrong. Being single without any reason is wrong. मतलब कि
True,
you're single, but you're working on your career. Actually, झूठ नहीं बोल रहे. You're
true,
not
true,
pretending to work on your career just to give yourself a justification.
true,
अगर तुम्हारे पास जॉब है मतलब तुम्हारा करियर सेट है, खत्म.
true.
करियर मेरे लिए इतना ही है, वो मिनिमम. अब यू
Mm-hmm.
नीड टू वर्क ऑन योर लव लाइफ. यूर वर्किंग, तुम्हारे अभी क्या कहते हैं, मेरा एग्जाम आने वाला है, तो उसके तो सिंगल ही चाहिए ना, तो रिलेशनशिप में आ जाओगे तो खत्म ही हो तुम. सो इट्स अ मिथ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. एंड समटाइम्स पीपल इन रिलेशनशिप आर वेरी मिजरेबल आल्सो. सो डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट आर योर इमोशंस, चाहे वो रिलेशनशिप में हो, चाहे वो सिंगल हो. इफ यू आर अ हैप्पी पर्सन, बीट.
True, that's true. The next statement is that past relationship teaches you valuable lessons. Every time or sometime.
पास
Past
पास्ट
relationship teaches
रिलेशनशिप,
you valuable lessons.
इट्स लाइक 50-50. वो समटाइम्स कि
Sometimes वाला.
समटाइम्स पास्ट रिलेशनशिप एक्चुअली क्रिएट ट्रॉमास इन योर हेड, तो तुम
True.
सिंगल ही ठीक थे. ऐसा भी होता है. तो पास्ट रिलेशनशिप इन इटसेल्फ डज नॉट टीच यू एनीथिंग.
Okay.
व्हाट यू डू विद दैट इन प्रेजेंट एंड इन
Mm-hmm.
फ्यूचर हेल्प्स यू. तो फॉर एग्जांपल,
That's
मेरे
true.
पास्ट रिलेशनशिप में मेरे ऊपर चीट हुआ है, तो उसमें
Mm-hmm.
मैं क्या सीख गया?
True.
कुछ ट्रॉमा क्रिएट हो गया और कुछ नहीं. ट्रस्ट इश्यू
That's
क्रिएट हो
true.
गया. बट मैं
That's true.
प्रेजेंट में, मान लो जसकरण सर के साथ मैंने थोड़ी कंसल्टेशन की और मेरे को समझा कि यार इस वजह से हुआ था, ऐसा हो गया था. ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं हम पास में जाके. अब मैं फ्यूचर में इस चीज से बचूं कैसे, या मेरे को
Mm-hmm.
पहले से रेड फ्लैग्स कौन से आ गए थे जिनको मैंने इग्नोर कर दिया. दिस विल हेल्प यू. Past relationship or experience alone never helps you. The observation of that experience from the right angle helps you.
True. One more statement that man should always take the first move.
Uh, in the starting, while talking to a girl or sexual
Yep.
move we are talking about.
Anything, like in anything. Like let's assume if uh, we have to start communicating. Like agar, let's take for example, if I'm a guy,
I
I
agree.
want to talk to a girl. likewise ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि like girl wants to talk to a guy, so what's the thing, like the
I
statement is like
agree with
men
this
should always
statement.
make the first
I
move.
agree with this statement. Men are always to make their first move, चाहे वो किस हो, सेक्स हो, अप्रोचिंग अ गर्ल हो. इसका मतलब
Okay.
ये नहीं है कि लड़कियां करती नहीं हैं, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू मी, I like to make the first move, and I teach this that if you
Okay.
are not able to, because masculine energy is something which goes for it.
True.
Feminine energy is something which submits to the masculine energy.
True.
ऐसा नहीं है कि वो उनके अंदर वो वाली ड्राइव नहीं होती टू गो फॉर इट. देयर आर मेनी गर्ल्स आई नो दैट दे आर फेमिनिन आल्सो एंड दे गो फॉर इट, बट वो बोल्ड एनर्जी है. वो जब
Hmm.
व्हेन अ गर्ल अप्रोचेस अ गाय, इट्स हर मैस्कुलिन एनर्जी,
True.
राइट? सो द थिंग इज कि वो एनर्जीज ही ऐसी हैं कि
True.
एज अ मैन यू नीड टू अप्रोच हर. यू नीड इट, इट शुड बी अ मैन्स फॉल्ट to kiss someone, to approach someone, to, you know, ask for marriage, kneel down. अब मस्ती मस्ती में किसी लड़की ने कर दिया तो इट्स वेरी रेयर, बट मेजरली इट्स अ मैन्स जॉब ओनली टू डू दैट बिकॉज गर्ल्स लव इट.
True. That's true. एक और स्टेटमेंट है, बट आई फील लाइक हमने ऑलरेडी उस पे कन्वर्सेशन किया है, दैट this one, true love should be easy and effortless. So as you mentioned, it's not about effortless, it's always effortful. बट जब हम उस मोमेंट में होते हैं, वी आर एंजॉइंग द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ईच अदर्स, तो वो थोड़ा एफर्टलेस लगता है. सो आई फील दैट्स अ फैक्ट, राइट?
ट्रू लव इज नॉट बॉर्न, इट्स ऑलवेज क्रिएटेड. सो क्रिएशन हमेशा एफर्ट से ही होगी.
Okay, that's a deeper one again. So that was the myth and fact round, and I hope you enjoyed. So the very last question for this podcast is that if you get an opportunity, because right now you're 29, so if you go back 10 years, which means almost a decade, so what are the top three advices which you would like to give to your younger self in terms of
कुछ नहीं,
all the three aspects,
कुछ नहीं,
like health, wealth, relationship?
कुछ भी नहीं.
All good.
हाँ, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली आई थिंक इफ आई गिव एनी एडवाइस, आई थिंक आई वोंट बी द पर्सन आई एम राइट नाउ. चाहे वो मेरे साथ बुरा भी हो, अच्छा भी हुआ हो,
True.
बिकॉज मे बी आई एडवाइस टू माई यंगर सेल्फ कि यार इस लड़की से बच के रहना.
Hmm.
ये करके मतलब शायद मैं नहीं बचा, इस वजह से यहाँ पे बैठा हूँ. सो अभी तो मेरे को मजे
True.
आते हैं. सो आई डोंट वांट
True.
टू चेंज एनीथिंग इन माय पास्ट.
True. So, any top three advices for the people, those who are watching this podcast?
One thing is that start becoming relationship positive.
Okay.
ठीक है. It is not about finding the right person only. Also, it's all about finding and creating the right relationship. So I believe
True.
in two things: finding the right person and creating the right relationship. Sometimes you are with the right person, but you are with a very wrong attitude. तो तुम्हारा रिलेशनशिप सस्टेन नहीं होगा. तुम्हें लगेगा
True.
वो लड़की गलत थी, बट इन रियलिटी तुम गलत हो. तुम ही
True.
उसके लिए गलत हो. So it's not just about the finding the right person, it's creating the right relationship and also becoming right for her as well. So start pondering over this statement and see where it takes you. Because if you're not becoming relationship positive, because whole world is trying to bring you down into relationship. But from my personal experience, I have been into multiple relationships. I am married from the past 2 years. इतना कुछ मतलब इतना कुछ बड़ी बात नहीं है, यू नो, टू फाइंड दैट बैलेंस ऑफ बॉन्ड. अभी भी हम कल लड़ाई किए, आधे घंटे बाद हंसने लग गए. You need to start finding fun in your fights. It's not toxic. Toxic is because there are some unsaid issues you are not able to communicate. So that is the second advice. Start learning about how to communicate with your partner, and that communication is the actual key for the relationship. And it's not just about understanding them, but also making them understand you.
True.
But how will you do that until or unless you do the third thing, which is actually understand a female psychology, understand a
True.
male psychology, understand how women really are in general. Many people say लड़कियां तो अलग अलग होंगी ना. अच्छा, so you believe there are 7 billion people on this planet, सब अलग अलग हैं. There are patterns.
True.
90% people, if सारे अलग अलग हैं, तो there should be 7 billion emotions they are feeling.
True.
7 billion different things. No, there are few.
Correct.
गिन के पूरी दुनिया में 100 इमोशंस नहीं होंगे, 100 भी नहीं होंगे. क्यों सारे एक ही चीज सोच रहे? क्योंकि people are not operating individually, they are operating in groups.
Correct.
I don't have this emotion of insecurity because मैं इंडिविजुअली ये इनसिक्योरिटी ले आया, पूरी दुनिया के अंदर इनसिक्योरिटी है. सो इट्स अ कलेक्टिव एनर्जी. So that's why I collectively teach how a woman's collective energy works. What does she need in a relationship collectively? When you understand to the core how a woman is and how relationships work and how a man is, even understanding yourself, all these three things together are going to help you in your love life.
Amazing. So that's the podcast. I hope you enjoyed, sir. Thank you so much for being on our podcast show. It was absolutely a pleasure, and I learned a lot. Once again, thank you so much for being on our podcast show, because I feel there are a lot of questions जो हमारे audience को भी रहेंगे, and definitely we can cover up in part 2 of this, and maybe we can cover up the income tax thing as well, not with respect to dating and other things, but yeah. So that's the thing. And once again, thank you so much for being on our podcast show.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Thank you so much.
So that's the end of this particular episode. I hope that you learned and enjoyed a lot about dating from this particular episode. Make sure you check out all the social media links of Jaskaran sir, which are shared below in the description section. और साथ ही साथ जो भी आपके takeaways हैं, do share below in the comment section. And I look forward to see you in the next episode. और साथ ही साथ अगर आपके कोई topic recommendation या guest recommendation भी हो, do share below in the comment section. And I look forward to see you in the next episodes. Till then, live fully, love openly, and make the difference today. I wish you joy and abundance in all you do.